Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Daniel Lyles with Carolina Handling, and we are here to talk about the waketech Forklift Diploma Program. Joining me today is Paige Kerns. He is Professor and Program Director of Heavy Equipment and Transport Technology at waketech, and also James Sanders, Director of Operations at Carolina Handling. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Okay, Paige, first question for you. waketech is known for its successful heavy equipment and transport technology program. What prompted you to add a forklift diploma program to the course offerings?
So I attended waketech 30 plus years ago, and after graduating and working in the heavy equipment side for a number of years, I decided that I had a good opportunity to come about for working on forklifts, and took that opportunity, and it kind of became my staple. And after a number of years, I was approached by my former instructor and mentor at waketech, Mr. Ronnie Lowe, and he brought me back as a faculty member to teach. And ever since I've been back at waketech for 20 years now, I've wanted to start a forklift program and go back to kind of my roots, something I really enjoyed, something I really had a good time doing, and felt like our program could benefit from that.
Great. Okay, so why was it important that the Forklift Diploma Program be a work-study program?
So after COVID, we realized that, prior to COVID, I should say, we were under the assumption that you could not have any online classes with our type of industry, because most of our students that come in prefer to be hands-on. They don't want to sit in the classroom, and they especially don't want to not be in the shop. So we decided, or myself and my faculty decided, I guess I should say we decided that we could offer what are termed blended courses, where 50% of the online instruction is online. So we may have a class that has 8 hours of lab and 3 hours of classroom. Now we have 2 hours of classroom online instruction and then 1 hour in the classroom. And in doing so, through each semester, we were able to knock that down into work or come into school for 2 days. That allows them an additional 3 days to go work at the dealership. So with that, it's kind of propelled all of our programs into that direction where we can do a work study type scenario.
Excellent. Okay. All right, James, Carolina Handling has partnerships with other technical colleges around the Southeast. What makes the waketech partnership different?
Well, first, we've had a long relationship, 15 plus years with waketech. Mr. Ronnie Lowe, as Paige mentioned earlier, had a vision for that program, and it was very student focused from the standpoint of preparing those students to be able to go out in the field and get a great job. That foundational skill set, but most importantly, the ability to teach those individuals how to be professional, how to present themselves in a way that could get them employed and push forward through that. It was a very, very structured and rigid program. Since then, Paige has done nothing but evolve that program, and it's been very beneficial to us at Carolina Handling with the associates that we've brought on board. Mm-hmm. Most of those students, when they come on board, now they're leaders inside of our organization. They're running teams that service our customers.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about our field service technicians, because I know that we've hired over 100 field service technicians this past year alone. Mm-hmm. Do you see that trend continuing? Can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, you look around in the world today and everything that you can see has been touched by a lift truck at some point in time. Mm-hmm. From the time it was the raw goods until it was consumed by a customer. When you look at it from that standpoint, the skill sets, the skilled labor that's needed today is very difficult to be able to put in the market for associates to be available to come to our dealerships and work. One of the things that we noticed right away in working with Paige and waketech, we have partnering dealerships that we're working together to help create this program. So it's not just Carolina Handling, it's all the other partnering dealers in our area that see the need for this labor, this skill set, and to be able to build a program that we can all help support, right, and as well as being able to pull those students when we sponsor them to go into the program to be developed at a ground level. Mm-hmm. The other thing is it gives us the opportunity to test drive them and them test drive us. It's not a publicized field, like an automotive tech. So it gives them the opportunity to see how they go out into a customer, service their equipment, and then go to the next customer and service their equipment. So it's not for everyone, but at the end of the day, it's a very good profession, to be involved in.
Okay, thanks, James. All right, Paige, let's talk about the program a little bit. How does it work? Is tuition included, textbooks, tools? Do they get paid for the part-time work? Can you explain that?
Yes, so initially a student would come in and apply to Wake Tech. They can apply up to 1 year out from the start date. They would need to gain sponsorship through a dealership within our program, such as Carolina Handling. And then once I have the sponsorship agreement paperwork in hand, then after their application process, they can go ahead and register for their classes. There's 3 semesters, it's a 1-year diploma, and then coming to school, fall and spring semesters will be Monday and Tuesday and go to work at the respective dealership for the remaining week, possible weekends. And then their last semester, the 3rd semester, which will be summer, they only come to school on Mondays. So then they'll go back to work for the Tuesday through possible Saturdays. So during that time, they'll get paid as they work. And then when they come through school, they'll be in school those designated days. And then once they get hired or after graduation and they're hired on as a full-time employee, then at that time, whatever the dealership has in terms of what type of package they're going to offer them for tuition reimbursement, tool incentives, or what have you, that at that point is up to the dealer and the student.
Gotcha. Okay. James, maybe you can expound on that a little bit. What does Carolina Handling offer to these students that are enrolled in the Forklift Diploma Program?
Obviously, when we sponsor that student, the first thing is that foundational skill set that they get from Wake Tech. The second thing is that opportunity to go out and get paid while they're going to school at the same time, and to understand and learn more about the industry. As Paige mentioned earlier, tool reimbursement or tool purchases or any of those things can be discussed at the time that they come on full time, once they've completed this 1-year program. It's very, very critical, and we've all of the partner dealers have been very intentional of saying that you have to finish the class, because we're not going to be able to see this program be successful if we don't complete the class and get through that. And then we'll discuss that piece, and then we'll move forward as it relates to the employment of the student.
Okay, good. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the automation industry. Carolina Handling, we are the exclusive Southeast dealer of Raymond lift trucks, but automation is really the future. It's a $900 billion industry, and what I want to ask is, can you talk a little bit about Carolina Handling Intralogistics Solutions Group, what that means, the opportunities that affords to the students enrolled in the Wake Tech program?
Absolutely. Our role as it relates to the customers that we have is to be a solutions provider. That intralogistics scope in which we look at that is doing everything that customer needs to be able to move the product through their facility, be it manufacturing or distribution or whatever, at the quickest pace it can. The velocity of which business is being done now, and COVID had a lot of effect on that, is, goods to person is a very short window. Sometimes you can order stuff right now, and a couple hours later it shows up on your doorstep, which is remarkable. But the skill sets that Wake Tech begins to plant with those students in the curriculum that Paige has created helps us as well to continue on with that education, and the need for that skilled labor to be able to support all this automation that's coming forth today is critical for us to have those.
So I really want students to enjoy material handling. I want them to see that automation is the future. A lot of times people don't think about, I'm going to get into the material handling industry,
Right.
and then you realize that when COVID hit, we were prospering. Everything was huge in material handling. Like you said, people didn't stop ordering things. So I want the students to see that material handling is a great place to go into. Tell us a little bit about the field service technicians, because I've heard it's a bit like pretty much running your own business.
It is, very much is. There's a reason for that. Even in the heavy equipment aspect that this program is tailored along the side of, most of the technicians go out to the field and work on this equipment. There is times that it has to go back into the shop, but they go to the customer, and they have to maintain that equipment, whether it be a lift truck or conveyor system or a heavy piece of heavy equipment. That's where the work is done. Our ability to be able to provide the skills that they need to work on the equipment is just a small piece of it. They have to be able to look at the situation for what it is and then make a decision as it relates to how do you best fix that piece of equipment. Our role at Carolina Handling, the leadership role at Carolina Handling, is our org chart is basically turned upside down. We're a servant leadership ran company. In doing so, it's our responsibilities as leaders inside of our company to provide the skills and the resources for those associates that are facing the customer to be able to fix their equipment and to ask for the right things inside of our company, and then we're there to support and to provide those resources to get that piece of equipment up and running.
All right, okay, thank you, James.
You're welcome.
All right, Paige, last question for you. For those students that are watching at home, what do they need to do to apply or enroll in the Forklift Diploma Program at WakeTech?
So as I mentioned, they can apply up to 1 year out, and it's basically www.waketech.edu, and then pretty self-explanatory at that point, but I'm there to assist them if they need any help. And then also at that point, they would need to gain sponsorship from one of our supporting dealers, such as Carolina Handling. And at that point, once they have completed the application process, done the FAFSA, submitted their transcripts, then they will get their schedule. And at that point, they can register for their classes and they can begin working. And then out of that very first week, they'll go work at the dealership.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Well, everyone, I'd like to thank James and Paige for joining us today. And again, we wanted to make sure that you out there listening in TV land know that material handling is not going anywhere and automation is the future. So enrolling in the WakeTech Forklift Diploma Program could set you on a great course for an excellent career. And we'd love to have you at Carolina Handling. So again, go to the website and join us and join the program. I think you have a lot of fun and it's a good time. So thanks very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.